Welcome to the world's greatest Bronze Age Spider-Man podcast. Here comes the Spider-Cast. I'm your co-host, Michael, and as always, I'm joined by...
Joshua Mervell, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the Spidey special edition, like, department store tie-in comic books.
Yeah! We still have a few more of these to go, so sit tight, folks. We'll get through these. But anyway, joining us as...
I feel like these are the worst issues to read, but probably the most fun to talk about on the podcast.
I have to agree.
This is going to be a fun one.
Yep. And joining us as usual is G.I. Jolie.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Compliments of the Jones Store Co. All right. So anyway, Bex Luther's also here. Hi, Bex.
Do you think that they made the Jones Cola, or like they're not associated with that at all? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? The Jones Soda.
I know Jones Soda, but I'm not sure if...
I don't think so.
I don't
Maybe.
know. It looks like the exact same font.
Oh, there you go.
It does look, yeah. That's why I brought it up, not just because I just can't focus on one thing at a time. Also, hello, I'm here. With no ADD at all.
Oh, and also joining us, Kev N. Kev N. Thanks for returning, Kev. I think we lost Becca. All right.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's been a while, Kev. When was the last time you were on? Do you remember?
1978.
Before podcasts were invented.
Right
before
here.
these Spider-Man comics were published. Yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, last year, I think October.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. It's not long. Holy moly.
Really?
All
Been
right.
over a year? Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I think we invited you on, but unfortunately work got in the way one day, right?
Yeah,
right.
A couple times it's got in the way. Yeah.
Yikes. That's okay. Well, guess what? Work's not going to stop us because we got to review some supplemental comics promoting department stores. Woo! All right. So yeah,
let's get
Josh.
our product placement on.
Yeah.
We're gonna start off this episode talking about Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk, compliments of the Jones Store Company, in Chaos in Kansas City. So the Jones Store is apparently like a big department store that was just in Kansas, Missouri. In the River Market neighborhood of Kansas. I'm reading the Wikipedia. I don't know this information off the top of my head.
I was like, wow, you really did your research.
Yeah. And then it was bought by Macy's, I think it was. Yeah, Macy's. So it was like a standalone big department store, and then it was bought up, and it hasn't been around for years now.
Last time we did one of these like department store advertisement ones, they were also bought by Macy's.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, they all had their own little chains or whatever, right? In a lot of those cities and that. I remember my mom from Connecticut, same kind of thing. They had their own little stores like that, and then they were bought out. So,
must be really interesting. I didn't see some Connecticut.
Yeah.
Huh. Fascinating.
Well,
all right, so Josh, do you want to tell us what this one's about?
Sure. I mean, okay, so we start off, the Incredible Hulk is jumping through the air. He's arriving in Kansas City, and he decides he's going to hide out in the Kansas City Zoo. I assume it's the Kansas City Zoo, because it's in Kansas City. That's probably what it's called. And to get away from humans, so he goes and he takes a nap in the zebra sanctuary, and he dreams about his backstory. And then we see Peter Parker. He's getting into his hotel room. He's there to do a photo shoot and for the story about a panda that is on loan from the Chinese zoo because there was like some sort of deal with grain. I don't know. It's not important. There's a very important famous panda that's here, and Peter's there to take pictures. So let's see what happens next. Oh yeah, so we see Kraven. He is reading a paper about how the Hulk is now in town, and also this panda is here. So he decides he's gonna go and hunt the Hulk, and his first stop is the zoo. And as the panda is being like brought out and showcased, Peter's taking pictures. Kraven shows up and starts attacking the Hulk, and there's like a big brawl that starts breaking out. Hulk punches the wall of the sanctuary for all of like the big cats, so like all of these lions start coming out and rampaging, and Peter's got to save the panda from the lions. He swings away at the panda. He plops him into a safe spot, and he webs up a cage for the lions and saves the day there. So all the people are now safe. Hulk and Kraven continue to like run around the city now, fighting, like throwing trains at each other. They go to like this big grain silo, and Hulk gets tricked into jumping in, and he's like drowning in the sand or the grain. Sorry. We get like 4 or 5 pages of advertisements, and Spidey comes in and knocks Kraven out and defeats him. Hulk bursts out of the silo, and he's so exhausted from swimming through all the rice, he turns back into Bruce Banner, which is not something I think happened. I didn't think he turned back into Bruce after getting tired, but here we are. Bruce like grabs some random clothes and like blends in with the crowd, while Peter Parker, still in his Spiderman attire, goes to the Jones Store Co. to buy himself a new suit. And he flies back to New York. The end.
So you missed the part at the beginning where Peter goes to the Jones store to buy a fresh new outfit because he deserves it.
That's
and then
true.
What ends up happening is he notices that Bruce Banner turns back into Bruce Banner and has no clothes, so he gives him the clothes he just bought. And now he has no clothes, so he has to buy more clothes just as Spidey.
Sorry, you're right, yes.
Spidey in a suit.
Yeah, it's
very
a
fancy.
Fresh gray wool suit.
Yes.
So, Cav, it's been a while since you've been on the show, so why don't you tell us your first impression? First of all, are you familiar with these like giveaway supplementary promo comics?
Yeah, I had a few of them back in the day. They would get passed around, I don't know how, with friends, and
right.
Even then they were horrible pieces of I mean, I guess when you look at it, it's not dressed for, it's definitely a younger group, but there's no effort in them. Even when I was younger reading them, I thought they were horrible. And I never got into them because I'm like, well, it's not really part of the Marvel universe or whatever. It's just, these gimmick books. So you just kind of like, whatever. But yeah, I'm definitely aware of them. I know there's quite a few of them. They used to have some value just because, there was only low print runs, that type of thing. So it's interesting. But thank you for my welcome back to this with these 3.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So wait. You're telling me that these are not 616 canon? Because I'm going to be real upset.
Yeah, well, they're probably in there somewhere, but they're just not, no, it's just, they're probably a part of it. It's just, but they weren't the regular series, right? They were this little weird one-off thing. So, and I remember the ones right up into the early 90s with Todd McFarlane, and they had him with Calgary and Skating on Thin Ice and Captain America. Now, those obviously, the art was phenomenal.
Yeah,
so,
amazing.
Much better than some of these. But, I do recall them, and that was, thanks for this experience. It's been horrible. But
you're welcome.
I read through
Anytime.
them. Yeah. It was one thing that's still giving me nightmares is the ads with the clothes. I would not buy any of those clothes even back then because
the artist kind of got that frightening style to
it's
it.
horrible. Those children look like they're possessed. It's got a scratchy. Like, who was hired to do that? Like, I don't know. It didn't look very. That kind of scared me.
We kind of theorized last time that it was like the advertising department of like of the department store, kind of like tracing over ads. But I think now looking at it, realizing that this is like from a completely different department store now, and the art looks the exact same from the other 3, I think that it was like probably the artist doing this comic and just getting extra work and like, okay, I'm not getting paid to do these advertisements for you too. So it was like a quick trace over. That's what I assume now, reading so many of them and they all look the same.
Well, that's the thing. I'm thinking also with them too. Is they were smaller promotional things. They only did a limited print run. Obviously, because the cost, even for those department stores, right? They're using licensed characters and having a whole story. It was kind of a unique way of, I guess, maybe getting the kids there and mom and dad or whatever to buy the clothes. But I there's definitely a similar pattern. I think you're right. It was like, okay, we need a bunch of ads and we need a story. Just whip something up real quick and. And I don't know. That's where I kind of got with all of them. Was that kind of with everything, the ads, just everything with it, and if you want to call it a story, with each of the comics was that kind of let's whip it together. We're only printing off 10,000. It's just for this department store. We got their check. The kids are just going to look at it, and there you go.
Now that being said, though, what about the art? I actually thought the art in this one was pretty good.
I think the art was fine. I'm not. I didn't. It was. I was trying to figure out who it is.
Well, here's the thing. Okay, online they guess that it's John Romita Sr., but I don't think so. I think this is Sal Buscema. I see Sal Buscema.
Or Al Milgrom.
Oh, I don't think Al Milgrom's this good, to be honest.
No, maybe not. Yeah.
Like there's a lot of pages, like digital page 12, when after the panda comes out of that van. And Spider-Man has got the half face, and Peter Parker's walking away right before Kraven jumps on Hulk. That shot of Peter Parker is 100% Sal Buscema to me.
Yeah, I was kind of going back and forth with it on some of the ones I was thinking from that period. But yeah, in terms of, I guess that if we're talking about some of the artwork in it, the comic itself, the art was not bad. The layouts and everything, and it was your classic kind of your general kind of Marvel style that you saw that period. Of the three, this is probably the one I probably liked most in terms of a storyline. If you had to actually
really, I liked it the least.
Oh, I liked it just because I found it a little bit more plausible, like the connections, and we can get into that when we get into the second and third one. I just found that Hulk gets tired a lot, wants the rest. Kraven's a hunter; he wants that panda. Which, by the way, I found interesting. The panda bear just walked on a wooden plank, like out in the open. And,
right.
There was like no safety measures, and you could see they made some little comical relief in it when Spider-Man, picks up the panda bear and says, "Oh, you're heavier than you look," and all that type of thing, and all those jokes. Overall, the first one for me was, it was a kind of your typical style, real basic superhero, supervillain storyline, right? That's how I looked at it. And looking at who it was for and what it was about, I think they whipped these together quick, put a little plot together, and then tried to keep it. I like Kraven though. I've always been a Kraven the Hunter fan. I don't know why. I always thought his costume was kind of cool. I did like the fact that he was in his apartment. He was still wearing it around. Like I always loved that. I always loved that about the older comics is that no one had any other clothes. It was just their villain wear and that type of thing.
Right.
So that made me laugh.
I never realized he wore ballerina shoes.
Yeah. I guess he does. Yeah.
Gymnast.
You could say that.
It's kind of supposed to be like yes. It wasn't bad, in terms of the flow. I guess that was the thing, the flow, and it, if you call it a flow compared to some of the others. But overall, it was really hard for me to. Would I recommend these? No, unless you want to for historical reference or look at some not bad artwork, or you're a fan of a particular villain, or you're a big Spider-Man fan. You just want to have it as part of your collection. But it's overall, there wasn't much story there. I think again it was just to sell the product, and sell the characters. So for me, I whipped through it. Not a lot of substance, obviously, but the flow was okay, and I liked the art. It was, like I said, it was that kind of artwork that I've always enjoyed.
Yeah, I love the panel.
The storytelling for in terms of the art was really good. I could basically, which I always say to you, if I can look through without reading, if there's no words there and I can just see each panel, I could figure out the story. That's key, which always seems to be a challenge with a lot of comics today, I find. But that definitely was there. I mean, there was definitely a flow. Like, you didn't even need the words. I think I could have figured it all out.
Right.
Basically. And maybe that's what they should have done. Maybe just kept the words out, and then kids could just look at the cool pictures.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's...
all right. Okay, we got to jump around. We still got 3 more people. Actually, 4. Jolie, what did you think of this issue?
I thought it was hilarious. I hate stupid Hulk. And this was like a weird stupid Hulk. Like, this is just like so minuscule, but there'd be like certain ways that Hulk would say something if he was actually that dumb and it wasn't written that well. Like, dumb Hulk was written poorly, if that's a legitimate qualm to have. But like, unlike the other stories from the media tie-ins that we got last time, these ones seem to be like very like ABC. A being Peter needs to work, he covers the panda brings about trouble. Like that, like that's the catalyst is the panda. The catalyst brings about trouble, and then Peter saves the day. It was like super easy to follow, and the ads weren't new to me this time, so I wasn't so distracted by all the genes. Yeah, though I did think, did Izod and Lacoste were they ever amalgamated at one time? They must have been. If they had the alligator, it's still like a question I've had since the last time we did media tie-ins. But anyway, maybe I'll never find out. But yeah, I really like this one. Anytime you involve the zoo, I'm in.
All right. And what did you think of the art?
It's fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw my vote in for Sal Buscema. I think it's him too. I feel like if it was Romita, it would the figures wouldn't be as stocky. He has a different his style, his poses are different.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Romita's style is different. And there's like this splash page of the Hulk jumping in the air. The musculature is just too bulky to be Romita.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like he likes his muscles lean, but I don't know how to pronounce Sabashima's name.
I believe
Buscema?
I think it's Buscema.
Okay, is he Italian?
Yes. Salvatore.
Salvatore Buscema.
Which I met him at one time.
You met Sal Buscema?
Yeah, it's
He was here.
Oh, wait, hold on a sec. Wait, Jolie, how's it pronounced?
Okay, well, if it was a CH, then it would be Buscema, but it's not, so it'd be Bushima or Bushema.
All right. And sorry, Kev, where did you say you met him?
He was at the first Windsor Comic Con that I went to at the Cleary when it was the older Cleary.
Okay, I was there. I don't remember Sal Buscema being there.
Yeah, he was. And I remember I wasn't a big fan at the time with his art and Peter Spectacular Spider-Man. And I was like, oh, so-and-so is here. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And later on, I kicked myself to this day. I didn't go up to him and talk to him.
Okay.
Because I enjoy his artwork much more. I like it now. And
yeah, let's put that one together.
Okay, wait. Was this the same year that Ty Templeton and Dave Ross was here?
I'm trying to remember. Motor City Comic Con did these. They decided to come over here for a couple years and run them. I can't remember. I have the original flyer somewhere. I'll have to dig it up.
Oh, that'd be great. And, yeah, I think the one I went to was 89, but anyway.
It was 89 or 88. It was 89, I think. There was one there, and then the other one right after, I think they did it at Masonic Temple.
Yep, I was there too.
Dale Keane was there, or was supposed to be there. I don't know if he
I know Adam Hughes was there because I talked to him.
Yes, yeah.
Anyway, that's really cool. Wow.
Sorry, having flashbacks.
No problem. Okay, let's get back to these comics. So, Bex Luthor, what was your take on this one? This is your favorite one, you said, right?
Yeah, there's animals in it, and I agree with Jolie. I'm a sucker for the zoo. As soon as Hulk was like, people don't understand me, animals understand me, I'm gonna sleep with the zebras. I was like, yeah, zebras. And I really like how the animals are drawn. I'm very easy to please. I see cute bear, I'm like, my favorite. Like the bear. 10 out of 10 bear. No, I thought it was fine. I thought the advertisement tie-in he didn't just go buy new clothes. He like bought new clothes and then they were added to the story. That's different, right? Normally they're just like, can you believe these prices? I can't. And then comic book stuff happens. But at least this one, like, he bought a new shirt and then he had to give it to the Hulk and then he had to buy more clothes as Spider-Man. That's cool. I'd go shop here now. Maybe Spider-Man will show up. I thought that was at least like interesting for like this sort of weird, like, I don't understand why these department stores are advertising in comic books, but at least it worked. I don't know what kind of like Marvel contract these companies had for advertising, but it just seems like a really weird choice. Be like, oh, we sell clothes? Spider-Man.
Well, it's probably to get kids to come in to get the comic, and then when the parents are there, then they spend money, right? I'm guessing, though.
Yeah.
But like, are any kids going there specifically for the comic? Like, or is it given to them to make them go to the store?
Yeah,
comics were usually inserted in newspapers to promote.
That's true.
That because the comic strips were, you had it good even up into the 80s if you were doing comic strips. So for comic books to get in there was big. And actually, if we look at the evolution of the comic book, just quickly, that was what it was used for. It was for promotional giveaways to get people at particular stores and things. So that's what they used them for. So even like Famous Funnies on Parade. So you had those kind of things. So yeah, they were inserted in the newspapers, and then the kids would see it and read it and look at it, and then that was a way to the ads. So you made a good point about having Spider-Man. They're probably like, oh, I'm going to go there because Spider-Man buys his suits there. So
yeah, maybe if I go there, Spider-Man will be there.
Yeah.
Come on, Mom. We have to go. We need clothes. Let's go. But I will say that this comic had something that none of the other ones we read before had, and it was not a closing advertisement. It was an advertisement that I recognize for the Magnavox Odyssey 2.
Oh, yes.
Where?
Many hours of fun.
Where was that?
It's near the bottom.
Yeah.
It's when the Hulk busts out of the grain.
Oh,
and it's after that.
So, okay.
So fun fact.
So I didn't have this. Is this like an Atari?
It was one of the, they were one.
Yeah,
actually, I think they even were before them.
Yeah, the Magnavox Odyssey, the first one, is the first ever home video game console. Before Atari, before everything, in 1972. I know all this because in 8th grade, I did a speech on the Magnavox Odyssey.
Wow.
It's the first home game console.
My friend, and they had variations, yeah. And they used to put these things on the TV for it to change the color.
So the Odyssey, it didn't have like color or anything on the screen. It came with these sheets of plastic that you put on your TV screen that would have the pictures.
What?
And then behind it was just pixels. And like that's how like
Wow.
So instead of graphics, it was just like interchangeable sheets of clear plastic that you'd put on your TV.
Yeah.
It came with dice. It came with poker chips. Like, it came with all this stuff because video game consoles were the thing. So they were like, oh, what do we do to get people to play a video game?
Mm-hmm.
So
I had friends that had it,
those are, if they have their boxes, that's expensive.
They're extremely, very rare.
So wait, just to chronologically, was this before, what was that called?
Pong.
Pong. Was this before Pong?
Yes. So the Magnavox Odyssey was 72. I believe Pong was 75? Not 100% sure on that.
It says here...
Pong was originally an arcade, and then he moved it to, like a home
so this is a
thing,
home... Yeah,
right.
So you could play Pong, like the big cabinets and stuff. But then
I think
the
it came
Odyssey
out a couple years after,
But this is an ad for the Odyssey 2, which was in like the late 70s and did not do as well.
Wow.
No, they were failing by then because you had your Atari coming out in 77 there. So
yeah, there was like Atari, there was Philips had their hands in the game. And then a video game crash happens. Yeah. ColecoVision, Commodore 64 after that. All that stuff. But then the video game crash of the late 80s happened, and then or the mid to late 80s, and then Nintendo showed up and was like, "Hey."
It was good.
So yeah, it was good. what's poppin'? We're gonna fix it. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. I was like, as a kid, because like you associate video games with children, but this is like so early on that I don't think that these were marketed towards kids yet. It was like a home entertainment
It was
thing,
complete
right?
family, yeah. You're right. It was a complete family thing, yeah. Everyone can play. Look at mom and dad, too. Yeah.
And I love these prices. It's $150 for the console and $30 for some of these games. Some of them are
a lot back then.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these games are $50. Quest for the Rings, $50. Who does they think they are?
With those triangles and squares for the pictures, yeah. How dare they? Yeah, I know. They were all expensive. We unfortunately weren't allowed to have one. We had to have a trash 80 Radio Shack computer, and that was but they were expensive. Games were expensive. I remember that. They were still they were $60 then, just like now, or $70, $80, whatever. So yeah, they're never gone down really.
Yeah, I know kids are like talking about like, oh, my game's $80. I was like, yeah, they've always been $80.
Yeah,
hasn't changed.
So
yeah, I just thought that was cool that it was like not a clothes ad.
Yeah, well, I'm assuming it's because they sold it in the store too, right?
Yeah, but I'm assuming the other department stores that we read things for sold other things besides jeans, but they don't advertise that, right? So it's like, this must have been enough of a hot thing that's worth like putting in print to get people to come in.
Right.
Well, also I think that's how they, that's how they covered their prices, right? Obviously with comic books and everything, so they probably like to get deals and stuff. I know that's how all the, right. We don't see them as much as we used to. They sold ad space, right? Magazines. So I'm probably wondering, they did that to help cut some of the costs.
So I guess the final question, Kev, you already said you don't recommend this.
No, I recommend this issue of the three.
Wait, and in fact, Josh, you haven't really given your review, have you? You summarized it, but
that's what I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's much else I can say that everybody else, hasn't said. But I mean, it was definitely the best of the three in my opinion. The story made sense and was clear, and the events that are currently happening lead to the next things rather than just like things happening.
Right.
So it's definitely the most cohesive of them all, in my opinion. But it's still like a big ad for a department store that doesn't exist anymore. So kind of like how everybody else is saying, like it's a fun one. It's not something I would like go out of my way to recommend. But if you are interested in reading some of these like weird crossover like department store ones, this would probably be the one that I would suggest you read.
Okay. G.I. Jolie, what about you?
Oh, I recommend it. It's super fun. Super cute. Yeah. Panda bears. Peter shopping. Peter being generous. Peter being Peter. And also Spider-Man. But you know what I mean? I like this one a lot.
Okay. And Bex Luthor, do you recommend it?
Yeah, I liked it too. Peter is really Peter in it. He's very Peter. Like, Kraven uses his Peterness against him. He's like, I know that he'll have to save these people, so I'm going to use that against him. Like, everyone's very in character except for the Hulk, but, like, the Hulk's kind of not really important here. But, like, Kraven the Hunter, that's a cool character to have in here to showcase the kids. I give it 10 out of 10 plopped down pandas. On their butts.
I'll just say this was my least favorite of the three, but I do really like the art, and I can read anything from this era featuring Spider-Man or the Hulk, so I did definitely enjoy it. I didn't think
anything.
Well, I think I've proven that. Yeah, that I can read pretty much anything. Not enjoy it, but I can read it.
Oh, okay.
But
a grown man can read.
Yeah. So yeah, this was okay, but like I said, least favorite of the bunch. So we are now gonna jump to the next one, which is, this is one I actually own the original copy of. Or a original copy. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders missing. Oh, that's the headline. Wait. Spider-Man and the Incredible Hulk and Southwest Showdown. So here's the thing. I don't watch football, but I definitely know that the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are not like other cheerleaders. There's something, like they had their own TV movie apparently. Does anyone know how popular they were at this time? Kevin, do you know about this?
Yeah, they were quite popular in all avenues and all levels of movie genres.
Really?
Right up to if people know the adult.
Don't say
movies.
it. Don't.
Oh, yes.
We're all thinking about it.
I just found out today that
What?
Debbie Does Dallas was a parody of the Dallas Cheerleaders. I
Yes.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had no
Yeah,
idea.
it's, so I mean, yeah, they were.
I was gonna say we've all seen
yeah.
one of them, but like you don't have to
No,
like.
I've never
out
watched
anybody
any,
here.
never. Yeah, they were huge. I mean, they became very popular. I mean, Dallas has always been one of those top football teams, professional football teams, successful. But yes, they were very, very popular for years when we were growing up. People that loved their football, and you would hear about them all the time. So it was, yes. So I kind of chuckle. I have this one too somewhere, and I still have it. I don't know where though.
Yeah, isn't that funny? I got this one too.
I think it's because it's the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Who doesn't want one of those comic books? I have no idea. But that was definitely one that was floating around everywhere around where I live.
Interesting. Okay. Well, okay, so let's find out what happens in this one. First of all, I believe this is art by John Romita Sr. So, yeah. So Peter Parker is just coming out of... which store is this?
Back to
Sanger
Sanger
Harris.
Harris.
Sanger Harris, okay. So Peter's walking on with a girl named Fran, who we've never seen before and will never see again. But they just went shopping.
Yeah, she's a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they went to high school together.
Yeah, that's right. So then they load their trunk. She takes off. She joins back up with the other Dallas cheerleaders, right? And they're taking a bus along. And, oh yeah, that's right.
Well, they're driving the bus, I believe.
Yes. I completely I read this a couple days ago. I completely forgot everything. But they basically, now, did they stop? Do they break down? I don't remember.
So they
They get lost in the rain.
yeah.
Okay. And they end up at a military base.
Well,
Yeah.
they were going to a military base to perform for the army
Oh,
people.
okay. Shows what I know.
But
Okay.
And
They-
they turned to the wrong military base.
Right.
Let's get the
Okay.
story going.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Great. The
Mike's like,
inciting-
I wasn't paying attention to any of the plot at all.
Well, there's a
Whatever.
reason there wasn't a plot. So yeah.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Anyway, so then they go into the rooms and they're all good to go. But then we cut over to the leader. Everyone knows the leader, who's one of the Hulk's main villains back in the old days.
Never heard of
he's just sitting in his little control room, and he's like got a model of like I guess the city below him that he's talking about taking over. It's pretty cool. And he's just plotting, his plot. And basically, the girls are like walking around like the base, and like the army is like, playing cards and kind of ignoring them, letting them go wherever they want. But they're like, something fishy's going on over there. So they run over to this bunker and they see one of the guys in the army is like, once we have command of the missile silos and the leader controls the SAC defense systems, the country is ours. So they've sprung on this plot that's going on between the leader and like this army, these army guys, whatever. So then she calls up Peter Parker, and she's like, something strange is going on here. They're trying to take over the country. And so he's like, I better get on that. So he's like, this is so important. He's like, I think I better get on that base first thing tomorrow morning. I mean, you think he'd go now, but whatever. Okay, fine. So then he goes to the next morning he goes and sees the newspaper and it says cheerleaders missing. So now he knows something's afoot, right? So then he goes and talks to wait, hold on a sec here. Oh yeah, so then he drives over to the army base and he's like trying to figure out what's going on, and they're not really being cooperative. But I love this shot of him changing to a Spiderman costume, but he's got like his pants down around his ankles. It's just something you don't see every day, But anyway. So then Spidey swings into action, and he gets shot at by a tank, and we see that a bunch of these tanks are shooting at the Hulk. And the Hulk is attacking the tanks, swinging the tanks around. Feel free to jump in if I'm getting any of this wrong. But then,
I mean, that's it.
No, he is fighting those tanks.
Yep. So then Spider-Man eventually goes to the base, sees all these tanks and soldiers, and then he runs into Fran. And then so he goes in and is like talking to the cheerleaders, trying to find out what's going on. And they're like, that's all we overheard, Spidey. Except that he'll go on to challenge the world. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to investigate further. So then he hides the cheerleaders. Oh no, what does he do? he gets them. Oh, he gets them to he gets them to dress up as soldiers. So they put on the uniforms, and then they go into the other room where the other soldiers are, and they're like, "We're here to relieve you. Leader's orders. Of course, we'll report to the Hulk detail." So those guys take off, and meanwhile, these guys are fighting the Hulk. And by the way, I'm clicking through all these. There's like 5 ads for every 1 page of story. There's like 5 ads of advertising crap. So then Spider-Man goes out, and like the leader has got this robot thing that's like shooting at the Hulk, and then Spider-Man jumps into the action. He's getting shot at. Okay, remember when I said the other one was the worst one? I might change my story when I get to the end of this. But anyway.
Yeah,
so then,
the other one had a panda. This one has...
Yeah, this one might be the worst. Anyway.
This one is, yeah.
So then they shoot a missile, then the Hulk jumps on it, then it explodes, and then he falls back to Earth, and then I don't even know what happens. Then he just decides to take off. He splits, he's out of there. So then the cheerleaders dressed up as soldiers are like, "All president accounted for, sir." They're like, "Oh yes, well at ease. Let's get you ladies to the real base." Oh, so these are the real guys. The real guys have come and met up with them.
Yeah, the real army shows up.
Yeah, the real army. So then the next day we see the Dallas cheerleaders all dressed up in their infamous uniforms, short shorts and boots, and like the cutoff shirt. And then that's it. And then Peter Parker is dressing with Fran again at Sanger Harris, and that's the end of the story. And honestly, I don't know what happened. I don't know how the story ended. Like, did the Hulk do something? Why did he take off? I have no idea. I guess he stopped the missile. Yeah, he stopped the missile. So that's the end of the story, I guess, right?
So I'm done with the desert. I'm getting out of here. Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't do a very good job of summarizing that. Sorry, guys, but I changed my mind. No, this was the worst one, but the art was really good.
You kind of summarized it was probably how anyone would read it.
Yeah. Okay, let's jump around. So, Bex Luthor, what'd you think of this one?
This is the worst one.
Yeah, it is.
Why is the Hulk there? He
doesn't do anything.
Don't have him fight a tank
just to
and then
sell a book or promote it. Yeah.
But like, just have somebody else with Peter. Like, why's it gotta be the Hulk? Like, does Dallas really like the Hulk? Do they like? Is he the most popular character besides Spider-Man right now?
At that time, he was because of the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the TV show. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why the Hulk's there.
But still, he's I agree with you. I don't know what he's doing there though.
Nobody in this comic book talks like a person. They're just commercial fodder. It's bad. They're just like, oh yeah, Fran, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader who's good friends with Peter Parker, the biggest nerd loser on the planet. Like, no, this girl did not talk to him in high school. There's absolutely no way. None of the cheerleaders talked to me in high school. So, like, Peter's got less of a chance than that. Unrealistic is what I'm saying. And then Spider-Man just in a room full of scantily clad cheerleaders is just a really funny image to me. Like, he's just sitting there, he's like, well, girls, looks like we gotta dress up as soldiers and get them. Like, it's just so bizarre. Nothing makes sense. The leader is the villain? Sure.
I love the leader. I like his head. I like his big head.
I like his head,
too.
I do like the leader's design. But the thing with Kraven, at least, like, Peter's there to take pictures of the panda. The Hulk's there because he wants to sleep in the zoo.
Yeah.
Kraven's there to get the Hulk. Peter's there to fight Kraven. Like, everybody, we're all in Kansas for a reason.
Mm-hmm. It's all connected, yeah.
We're in Dallas because that's where the cheerleaders are. I hated it. I hated it so bad. It was just like, look at these pretty girls. Aren't they pretty? Also, Spider-Man's here. Cool. You like Spider-Man, right, kids? Tell your mom to take you to Sanger Harris. That's stupid. For some reason, Spider-Woman's in an ad near the end. Why couldn't she be in the comic? That'd be fun. Have, like, Spider-Man and Spider-Woman and the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Because they gotta have the Hulk.
Okay, well, have him too, I guess. Like, why is Spider-Woman in the ad, but not...
Well, because she had her own cartoon, so she was popular too, right? I don't know.
Well, then put her in the comic. Yeah. Then put her in the comic. Like, you have all these cheerleaders, have a female superhero.
Well, easier said than done. Then they have to rewrite it. Then they have to draw it.
It is a teenage girl underwear ad, so it'd be weird if the Hulk was there. Or it would get me to buy underwear. If I saw an underwear ad, but the Hulk was in it, but it was for teenage girls, I'd be like, that's for me. 110%. Your body's changing, ladies, but so's the Hulk's, and he wears this clothes fine, so maybe, buy some panties. I don't know, it's just bad. It's bad and weird, and I hate it. And I bet some loser has like 30 issues of these, and he's like ranking up the price, and it costs $20 right now.
Wait.
Shut up, Mike.
You're on to me. Hold on. Now I'm being sold at Jolie's comic book store. Anyway, okay. So speaking
I
of,
only counted like 8.
G.I. Jolie, what'd you think of this one?
The other ones were stuck together, so she couldn't sell them. I don't know what was going on with those. It's weird.
Look, what's wrong that I have 40 copies? Okay.
The number keeps going up every time it's mentioned. I mean, as a former cheerleader, I have a soft spot for this one, but like, who doesn't?
What? Anyway,
this isn't.
Go ahead.
I wanted this one to be good, but it was immediately terrible because they're like, oh, well, we're going to an army base because that's what the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders / any cheerleaders or like any girl groups, especially if you're like, only marginally well known. Like, we just went to entertain the troops and boost morale. Like, I can't believe they did stuff like this, but whatever. What's the other, they're like synonymous with the Rockettes, really. But anyway.
The USO girls?
Yeah. So it's
Marilyn
like,
Monroe, they did all that stuff, back in the day.
so it's like, okay, cool. They do this, but they go to the wrong base. And this is
Jolie, you've never been driving to a military base and accidentally end up at a different one?
Exactly.
They don't know.
Only
Only
one time. But do you know what? Here's the thing. This is garbage. But my favorite part about this book, and it's my favorite part about comics in general, is he's like the leader. When it cuts to the leader in his room, when one of the soldiers tells him the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders are there, he's like, by accident, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders have stumbled upon our operations, but they must not interfere. Like, just send them away. I don't understand why they're still there. They're just a bunch of harmless cheerleaders.
Yeah, like even at the beginning, they're at the gates outside of the facility, and the soldiers stop them, and they're like, "Well, we better bring them in just in case they saw something." It's like, are you showing your secret plan out in the open, in the rain, in this secret facility?
Yes, good point. Good
what?
point.
They definitely didn't see anything. They couldn't see. That's why they're here.
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
it's just, it could have like, I'm just trying to quickly scramble to see if there's any other like decent plot that they could have concocted to allow these poor women to also be part of the story, because it was a really weird way to get the Hulk in a story, to get the leader in a story, to get the department store involved. They had to they had to make up a woman, because I mean, Peter wouldn't be in Texas. He wouldn't be in Dallas just shopping. Like, that department store didn't sell sets. Like, they didn't sell a Stetson that they could just, like, send him on assignment. He'd be like, I've always wanted a Stetson. Like, come on. That's the first thing I would buy in Dallas.
I wondered who the writer was, and they got it signed like that night when they were leaving. And so they, over a bottle of cheap scotch, wrote this story as quickly as they could because they needed to have it ready for the next day or something. Yeah. It was pretty wild.
Terrible. Oh, I don't know. I give this 0 plopped pandas out of 10.
Okay. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, it's not great. Like, things just happen for reasons. There's no reason that, like, this needs to be the leader. Like, it could be anybody. Like,
That's true.
If they replaced him with Doctor Doom, the issue would be the same. If they replaced him with like any other character, there would be nothing changing in the story. Same with the Hulk. I mean, it could have been any superhero or like person like distracting them. They didn't even really need a distraction. Spider-Man could have just snuck into the facility, like him. Yeah, randomly being friends with a cheerleader. Sure, that's fine. But like, how does he find out? Even like he gets a call from them because they sneak out and like find a phone.
Yeah, Fran calls him.
And she remembers his hotel room number, I guess.
Right?
I guess. I don't know. It's everything just kind of there are things that happen and there's no reason for them to happen, and it's just a weird one.
All right, Kev and tell us what you think. I know you love Spidey. I know you love Hulk. So tell us what you thought of this one.
I think find the issue, get it slabbed, get a 10.0 CGC slabbed version of it, frame it, put it on the wall because it's so amazing. Not
if only so nobody can open it up and read what's inside.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably exactly. No, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely Spider-Man, Hulk, fan and all that. But I don't. There's not much more I can. This was the worst of the three for me.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
It's like I said. You could tell someone was given this as an assignment. There's maybe a concept there, but I mean, I could see this. If this was written today, this would be like a year-long maxi series of like world domination, and because he wants to blow up all these cities and everything, and it would be like, there's a mystery behind it, but it's all jammed in, it's all over the place. Like there is about 3 or 4 pages, I think. I don't have it up with me, where the soldier keeps telling them, brings them in the room, says they're going to get coffee soon or snacks and refreshments, and then it goes to another panel and he says it again. I'm like, okay, you just told them that. Like, they get it. They're not stupid, It's really weird, the flow of it. It's so rushed. It's like, oh, I have a plot idea, and they had 3 sentences, and then he just kind of probably just went with as quick as they could, fill it in there. And yeah, it just doesn't, nothing connects with it. You can tell it's just like, oh, it's, we're going to put these people in it. And because they're local 2 celebrities, then you got your 2 popular characters at the time. Who we get for a villain? Well, let's do it for the Hulk. So the leader. I don't even think a lot of people, I guess unless you were a huge Hulk fan, like the leader, I don't know how big he was even back then.
Right.
So it's kind of weird that way. And, it was funny. I chuckled though. It was the classic. You got the mad supervillain that's going to take the world over, and you foil his operations. You run into it and cause all the problems with it. But yeah, it's I would just kind of, anyone want to just maybe look at it real quickly and then just put it back in the comic bag if you're bored, and put it away and say, yeah, I've got a old giveaway comic from the the early 80s, because it's just, yeah, there's I don't even know what to say. It's just horrible, and I'm sad because it's Spider-Man, and I'd probably back then remember. I don't even remember reading it. I think I probably was one of the ones where I started to read it and went, "Oh, I think this is for someone younger than me." And I was 12 or 13 when I read it.
Right.
So it's not good.
Takes a lot to make a comic book about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, give it to a 13-year-old boy, and that guy go, I don't like it. Not for me.
Yeah,
For
exactly.
babies.
It's like what? Yeah.
Also, it's too bad to waste John Romita Sr. on this, right? Because he wasn't even doing the regular Spider-Man comic at this time. So why would they waste him on this? Just seems ridiculous. But anyway.
That's why I said the poor guy probably, said, oh, I got to do an all-nighter here and get this finished. So that too.
Wait, Josh, I keep forgetting. Did you review yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like the story. We forgot about it.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah.
It was just...
yeah, there's not much to it. I know. Fun, though. Wasn't it fun? No.
It's a bad Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah, I will
That's what it
say.
reminds me of. Yeah.
It feels like an episode of the cartoon from the 80s.
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends?
Yeah.
But that show is a masterpiece, though, so it's not
Yeah,
quite
that
the
was
same.
good.
Exactly.
So everybody gave it a review, right? Right?
I think so.
Parker?
Yep.
Parker, what'd you think? No comment.
Zonked.
No comment.
Oh, that's how you know it's bad. Even the dog wouldn't chew it up.
Okay, so now we're going to jump to our final comic this week, which is
Oh, shit.
The Great Rodeo Robbery. And Becca, you're going to tell us what this one's about, right? Do you have it open?
Just stall for time.
Wasting time. Okay, so this comic, if we had to guess who drew this one...
Okay, I'm ready.
Wow, okay. I'm going to say John Romita Sr. again. And this is even... Actually, this artwork is even better. But anyway, go ahead, Becca.
Mike, shush, I'm ready.
And go.
Actually has something interesting to talk
Yeah.
about, but I'm just like, no. Me, my turn. No, go ahead.
No, that's it. I just think it's John Romita Sr. again.
Oh, again?
Yeah, it looks...
Kinda
it's
looks like
actually
the faces.
better. It's really good, this
Yeah.
art.
Yeah, I noticed that about it.
Yeah, those like
Well, there's
close
only
up.
so little that's good, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you
Yeah.
have to...
You can tell
You gotta
by like
figure
the
it out.
close up, like detailed faces. Like especially at the beginning with like Peter holding up the newspaper to
Yeah.
JJ and like
There might be some Herb Trimpe in there, either penciling or inking. I can't tell, but there's definitely Romita influence. But anyway.
Well, Herb Trimpe wasn't that good when it came to that look, but Herb was phenomenal for layouts.
Yeah.
As Stan Lee always told him, Herb, you're not a very good artist, but you're a good storyteller.
Right. Okay, so Josh, or no, Becca, you tell us what's going on in this one.
Well, it's friggin' kids. What's going on? It's like you're like my grandmother. You're like,
Yeah.
Rebecca, Samantha, Richard, whatever one you are. Get over here. Review this comic. Okay. So we're continuing the trifecta of Peter in the South for some reason. These all take place in the southern states, which is, I guess, fun. Like, get him out of New York. He can't advertise in New York for some reason.
Good point.
And this one is Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, The Great Rodeo Robbery. And we're advertising Follies this time. Any fun facts about the department store Follies? No? Cool.
Never heard of it, to be honest.
They use the same font as the Canadian grocery chain Sobeys, and that's it.
They do. Also, I'm sure Macy's
kind of
bought them.
Zellersy too.
Oh, shout out to Zellers.
Also purchased by Macy's.
Yeah, wait. It's just a conglomerate. So we start off, and Peter's with J. Jonah this time. Actually, he doesn't go to Texas alone. He's actually with somebody, which is fun. And Jonah is upset about everything, as it normally is. He's upset about city politics, muggings, subway delays. He wants to see some real people, some real heroes, like cowboys, I guess. So he takes Peter, and they go to the rodeo. After they see in another newspaper that this one guy is really good at whatever they do at the rodeo. As you could tell, I've never been to one.
You're not going to
I
like
don't
what
know.
they do.
Oh, probably not. It's probably sad to all of the animals. Great. But yeah, this one guy, he's can't be defeated at rodeoing. So they're like, he's what a real American hero. Really good horses, I guess. So they get on a plane, they go to Texas, and they show up in the middle of a parade for this man. Good timing. And it looks like his partner, Annie Bell, who's also a cowgirl. She's constantly referred to as a cowgirl. And they're like, oh no, we stick out like a sore thumb. So Jonah goes and buys some clothes. Because every one of these, somebody has to go buy some clothes. But then Peter's spider sense goes off, and he sees one of the enforcers.
Yeah.
Are the enforcers are something, right?
Yes.
Like they're actually
Ox,
okay.
yes.
Classic
Yeah,
Steve
Ox
Ditko.
of the enforcers. So his spider sense goes off, and he looks over at a cowboy on a horse, and it's Ox from the enforcers. He's like, "What's this guy doing here? That's crazy." And he looks around into the other two enforcers, Fancy Dan
Yeah.
and Montana Slim. Great, perfect. So Peter's like, uh-oh, these jerks are here. Something's going on. Better figure it out. And then we got a bunch of ads, and then we pan back over to a barn where Bruce Banner is working as a stable hand. And he's talking about how sad his life is, and every time he turns into the Hulk, he's got to go to a new place and a new job. And he sees the cowboy guy, who's named Rex Rider. Reddit, there it is. He sees him acting suspicious. He's going around being all sketchy, whatever. So he thinks, he's like, maybe I should follow him. And he's like, nah, not my problem. Good job. Stay in your lane, Bruce. And then we find out that Rex Rider is talking to the enforcers, who are telling him that he needs to throw his next rodeo thing. Whatever you do at the rodeo. He has to throw that and lose so that they can bet against him and get a bunch of money. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. And they're like, betcha, we kidnapped your girlfriend. So they show Annie's all tied up. And he's like, well, I guess I have no choice. Which, you know what, fair? Noble of him. Good job, bud. So he's like, I guess I'll just throw. So then the next day we're at the big championship rodeo thing. And guy on a horse hanging out. And Rex Rider's talking about how he's like ready to lose because gotta save your girlfriend. And then... Oh, right. And I forgot. And then we pan back over to Bruce Banner really quick, and he's just like still doing stable hand stuff, and he turns around, and who does he see? But the frickin' Rhino just hanging out in Texas. At first I was very confused. I was like, is the Rhino working with the enforcers? No, completely unrelated to everything else that's been happening. The Rhino is just here.
Stealing briefcases.
Stealing briefcases of money at a rodeo, as one does. So Bruce is like, uh-oh, I'm going to follow that guy, because he's probably up to something bad. And then the Rhino turns around, realizes he's been spotted, and backhands Bruce Banner across the face. And obviously this ticks the Hulk off, so Bruce turns into the Hulk and goes after the Rhino. The Rhino runs away and sees the Hulk and goes, you know what, fam? Not today, and runs away. But not before he busts through a stable, that busts through the rodeo, knocks Rex Rider off of his... That's not a horse, that's a bull.
Punches the bull in the face.
Yeah, punches the bull in the face. Like, doesn't just, like, headbutt him or run around, just punches him in the face. And then Peter is in the audience with J. Jonah. I would love to point out that Jonah is fully decked out in his Texan best, whereas Peter's just wearing regular clothes. So Peter's like, oh, that's probably not good. So he puts on his Spidey outfit, and he goes, and he saves Rex, and he's like, Rex tells him, be like, oh, Spider-Man, you gotta help me. My girlfriend's been captured by the enforcers. And then one of the enforcers sees Spider-Man. He's like, crap, I gotta go tell my friends. So Peter then, what does he do? Right, he's like, oh no, I have to save everyone from the Hulk and the Rhino. But then he doesn't have to for some reason. Oh, the Hulk just runs after Rhino. And Peter's like, phew, dodge that bullet. So he goes to go help save Annie Bell, the cowgirl. Sorry if I'm like stumbling. This is not great storytelling. I'm not really sure what's happening half the time. So Peter goes and he fights the enforcers, and it's a very easy fight. Meanwhile, the Hulk and Rhino are just duking it out. Rhino gives him a big headbutt. The Hulk is like a little dazed, but not really. Rhino's like, whoa, can't believe he took that headbutt so good, even though he's literally the Hulk, but okay, be surprised. And then the Hulk punches Rhino into a van that just then goes over a cliff and then goes right into the stage wagon that they have Annie in. So Peter's like, oh, crud, gotta save her. So swoops in at the last second, ties up the bad guys, saves the girl, and then, what does the Hulk do? Oh, he just like, he breaks the van. The Hulk smashes the van.
He just hops away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then just leaves.
See ya. Yep.
Yeah, literally, like not even, like very unceremoniously just hops away after destroying the van.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the day's saved, and then Rex shows up on his horse, and then Peter is taking pictures of them, and they go, well, you know what you need? Guy who I know is not Spider-Man, but am acting like I know he's Spider-Man. Some new clothes. So they go to Follies, they get all dressed up nice, and then Peter and J. Jonah hop back on that flight, and J. Jonah's like, can't wait to tell this story back home. Oh, everyone's gonna be so excited. Picks up the newspaper for the town they were just in, and they've already covered it. Oh, too late. And he's like so mad. The end. What?
Okay.
Then there was the sick maze.
This is the worst one of all three.
No, wait. This is the best one. I'll give you 2 examples, okay?
Wait, what? The panda one was the best.
As I'm reading it...
There's no panda.
On digital page, what is this, 21, when Enforcer,
21?
is that his name? When he's running towards the other two and he says, Montana, Fancy Dan, the whole thing's coming down around our ears. The Rhino popped up and botched everything. He stole the ticket money. Now, I'm not saying that's great, but the fact that we are changing points of view to the villains and we're actually seeing how they're just regular guys with a regular thing they want to do, I just thought that makes this one a tiny step above the other ones. It wasn't so juvenile and so stupid that it actually felt like there was real people pushing the story forward. So I thought that was cool. And then there was another part that I enjoyed when Becca was reviewing it, but now I can't remember what the freaking part was. I already forgot. If it comes back to me, I'll let you know. But I definitely thought this was the best
it really
one.
impacted you.
Yeah. You'll find it. Kevin, what did you think of this one?
It was the second of the least favorite, or the middle ground. It reminds me of back in the day when they came up with the Marvel Superheroes role-playing game. This is dating myself a bit, but they first came out with it, and it was a big thing, and I remember I bought it, and it's like, hey, we're going to play it tonight. And so he said, okay, I love Spider-Man. I'm going to be Spider-Man. Okay, let me get up some of his villains out of the book here. Okay, and I'll throw... It's that... all of these have this. It's like, grab some villains, grab some guys, and make up a real quick storyline. And it reminds me of even doing the classic Dungeons & Dragons thing where you go, all right, you're all sitting around a bar or a tavern, and a guy comes up to you and tells you about this dungeon not too far away. It's just like it doesn't, it wasn't bad, but there's just like, what? First of all, the Rhino, the poor guy, can't get out of that suit back in the day, right? He can never get out of that suit. That was one of the big problems he had. So, but for him to be walking around this place is like, and that was the thing too. I was reading where'd the Rhino come from? Wait a minute, did I miss something? Yeah. So there was just those where everything's kind of slapped in. Enforcers was a good old classic 60s look. He's him still sporting the hat, and I find it interesting still with some of the 80s comics and some of the cliches and some of the looks and things that were back even late 50s all the way through the 60s and stuff of comics. Like everything before, as we know, the internet took a little bit longer to move around, like so certain general concepts, like the way they do the stories, they're all very similar in a lot of ways, and it's a format, right? ABC pump it out, ABC pump it out, kind of thing, So I think you definitely see it with these because they obviously just were getting these out as a promotional thing, but
sure.
I didn't find it that interesting. I don't know why they're all of a sudden in Texas and this guy, I guess, they're enforcers, they're gang dudes, but it just kind of is weird a little. I love that everyone always kept money in briefcase, like, or purses or bags. They didn't lock, they're just put in a trailer there, and I'd say, like, didn't they have little safes back then? I don't know. Anyways, I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, it was great to see some of the classic guys. I did like the art in terms of the panels, the way they did them. Like, yeah, you've got the panels where you see Ox running and he flips the perspective around. I like the Rhino. I've always thought he was a cool character. I don't know why. I just thought he looked neat and this way.
Yeah, he's got a cool look for sure.
Yeah, and they show the charging. So I mean, the visuals were fine, but yeah, it was not an exciting story. It was boring. It was a snooze fest. It really was. It was like it just didn't have a lot for me on it compared. I don't know. Just didn't make. It's again, they're just not connecting with why everyone should be there, and like there's reasons for them to be there. I mean, yeah, okay, I guess the enforcers had their reason, but why are they all the way from New York all the way down now? And I don't know. It's just. Anyway, so yeah, I would give this the second one. If you're of the three, if you're going to, it's in the middle.
Yeah, I feel like I've got the same problems with this issue as I did the last one, except for this one was not fun. You know what I mean? Like I had to say that, like, why is Rhino here? Why is any of this happening? Things are just kind of like happening because we need to find some way to shoehorn all of this stuff into one comic. so we can have this like big event going on. Except for like I wasn't impressed, or like I didn't laugh at the cheesiness of any of this one really. Like the only takeaway I took from this is like, wow, Spider-Man using his web as a lasso is such a smart, interesting thing to do. If you're going to do it, like, and then he does it once and then we're done. And then we're back to the regular boring story where nothing really is going on. I loved the ads in this one. I loved the ads in this one. They're ridiculous. Yeah. There's 4 ads in a row that particularly are just wild. The first one.
Well, they all tell a story, right? They're all connected.
Yeah, this story is insane.
Forget the Cowboys. Forget the Spider-Man.
I didn't even notice that. Where are they?
It's original page 10, like after
the first
9.
The first one is like right after the cover, and they all are a continuous story.
Okay.
Right, but
because it says to be continued. I didn't even see that.
Right, okay. Yeah. So they heard some screaming in the haunted house. They go in, but like this is the big thing. This girl comes out and she says, "It's Janet's mom. Someone inside the haunted house grabbed her purse." And she's like posing with a balloon. The next ad, the one girl is like got her head tilted back. She's like showing off her flowy dress. The other one's doing like a little plie, like, "Ooh, look at my cool pink polka dot dress. I'll run fast to get my dad. He's a policeman." And then in like big block comic letters, "Wait!" And then to be continued. It's like, oh my God, what is going to happen next? What's going to happen? I'll tell you. These 2 boys, let's block the exit with folding chairs. Quick, let's go. Our plan worked. He stumbled over the chairs.
Okay.
We've done it.
You know what? I'm going to add to that.
Done it.
I think that...
And then the next ad, too, is Not Kids with Hello Kitty. It keeps going. Sorry, go ahead,
I was
Mike.
going to say all of them connect. I just looked through. The entire thing is one story. But it's garbage because they're talking about things happening off panel. All they had to do was show them, and it could sort of work. Right?
No.
It's called storytelling, Mike.
Yeah, that's what they're not doing.
But how am I going to see all of these like cool jeans?
But you guys didn't even get to the best part of the story.
Yeah.
What?
The one. Read the one, Josh. Read the one right after the
Hello
last
Kitty
one. Yes.
So this is a page full of Hello Kitty memorabilia. We've got a Hello Kitty backpack, Hello Kitty lunch pail, Hello Kitty thermos, Hello Kitty, what is that, a pack of cigarettes?
Yes.
Becky's dad comes running back to the haunted house. Sorry?
What's that, Kevin?
Becky's dad comes... Yeah.
I didn't even know it existed. What the hell?
The highest
Hello
grossing property
Kitty
in existence is Hello
eternal.
Kitty.
I didn't hear of it until 5 years ago. But anyway.
Oh my God, we keep going on tangents. There's the best part of the story is yet to
plot,
come.
Mike, please.
Okay, get to the plot.
Becky's dad comes running back to the haunted house just in time to grab the crook before he escapes. And Janet's mom is giving back her purse as the kids all cheer. And who is thinking this thought? I assume Hello Kitty. I assume it's Hello Kitty because nobody else is here. Next ad, we have Janet's mom is posing. And this little boy, Janet's mom gave us all a reward. And he's got a big lollipop, wearing some cool bell-bottom jeans. We see a page full of socks. The kids are excited about the reward and are feeling proud to be called heroes. Suddenly, the happy conversation is interrupted by a little boy's sobs. Something is going on. Then we have an ad where it's a picture of some shoes. And actually, we got some roos. We got some kangaroos.
Mm-hmm.
Are those shoes?
Yep. These are shoes. So this was like a big company back in the 80s. And the reason why I knew this was because I saw some at a store one time, like within the last like few years. I'm like, oh, I've never heard about this. These are shoes that have pockets hidden in them, like a kangaroo pouch. Yeah. I became obsessed with it, and like the department store I was in didn't have my size in kangaroo shoes, so I just like was like looking for kangaroo shoes because I wanted shoes with pockets in them, but alas, they're just gone. Yep. Even the kangaroo shoe website is just like, here's our history. We don't have anything to sell you, but here it is.
Oh.
They're just gone. Yeah. Anyways, what's going on now? Oh, yeah. Susan breaks away from the group and walks over to the little boy to find out why he's crying. She quickly returns to share the news with the rest of the kids. ... Oh, he wanted to race his pet armadillo, but he said it got away. Oh, my God. It's so
crazy.
Sad. Yeah.
It looks like we're off on another adventure.
Yeah.
The freshest shoes on this little boy with the sickest little kick of a heel.
Right? It's so weird because it's like, that's right. It's like a bizarro story because then it just starts to not make sense. They're like, oh, it turned out it wasn't a real armadillo. It was just a fake armadillo. Ha 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 ha. And then they start to set up a school carnival caper.
Well, this is the back cover, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the school carnival caper is the thing we just read.
Yeah.
Yes.
But anyway.
So yeah, that way better and more interesting to read than whatever was going on with Peter and the Hulk.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
I can't disagree. Here's the thing. This one, again, now that I've kind of skimmed through it again, it is crap. But there are a few things that I did like.
Right.
But Jolie, you have not given us your review of this story, have you? In detail,
Which one?
come on. Like she reviewed
How many pandas?
She reviewed the ads, but she didn't review the Spidey Hulk story. Did you?
No.
There was a Spidey story in this?
Mm-hmm. Here, would you like
Does
me
he
to
help
tell
the
you what
kids with the
happens
armadillo?
again?
No, please, Mike, no. It's a joke.
My favorite part was the Hulk being a stable boy. Because that's like, have they set this up before? This is something that the Hulk does. This is something that Bruce does.
He like goes from town to town sometimes and has odd jobs and then turns into the Hulk and then has to leave and find a new place to get odd jobs and then turn into the Hulk and then leave.
Yeah, which I like.
He's like Ted Bundy, but without the sex and murder.
Right.
Well, maybe there's murder, but there's
there might be murder.
Definitely no sex.
Yeah, there isn't like sexy murder. Okay.
No, for
but
Banner.
like he's definitely somehow conveniently the stable hand at this rodeo. That was the kind of like laugh out loud moment for me. It's like later at the rodeo, a maverick work hand named Bruce Banner, coffee flies out of my mouth. Like, why? How? Why is he here? He's like a scientist. If he's going to travel from town to town getting jobs, maybe like this is the job he picks. I don't know. I feel like there's why not be a janitor in a science facility?
I think the whole thing is he's on the run.
Oh, okay. So he's
and
like,
this
is 5 steps better than Carney.
I will say though, like when I was scrolling through the comic, I was like, "Ooh, who's this handsome farmhand?" And I was like, "Bruce Banner."
Yeah. You can tell by
So why they draw him so hot?
the pants being purple. I mean, please crush my head with those thighs. Like
the green shirt and the purple pants. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, right."
Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one that thought that when I saw this dude.
Why do they draw him so hot?
Yeah,
because John Romita Sr. can't draw anyone ugly. Everyone he draws is like a romance comic.
Disagree.
Mm-hmm. Also, I googled Rex Rider to see if he was a real cowboy. Well, here's the thing. In a way, he is. If you Google Rex Rider without googling what's her name, Bella something or other.
Annabelle.
If you don't Google their names together, this comic doesn't come up. Instead, you get X-rated director Rex Rider.
Whoops.
Oh, whoops.
Ruh-roh-raggy.
Backspace.
Or, I mean, hit enter and just,
Incognito mode first. Hold on.
Yes.
You guys hear me or?
Oh, yes.
No.
Now we do.
I'm back.
Oh, we didn't
I
know
was
you-
gone. I was losing my connection. Yeah,
Oh,
I
geez,
was
sorry.
out a lot. I
We
don't
didn't
know
know.
why.
We were just talking
Yeah.
about how sexy Bruce Banner was,
Oh yeah, he's handsome.
so you didn't miss anything.
Yeah. Also, like, why are there brown men gambling on bull fights? Bull riding? It seems weird.
Rodeo competition.
Yeah. When
it's
they go to
Texas.
threaten Rex Rider, then the next panel, Rex Rider's like 2 feet taller than him.
Oh, is he? That's funny.
Yeah, just crush him with your thighs. Like, everything about the...
Oh, yes, he's so tall.
Right? It's like comically shorter than Rex Rider. And I'm...
Who's that? Fancy Dan or whatever his name is?
whoever it is that is telling Rex that he's got to throw the rodeo. I
one of them's smaller.
I give this
I remember
three
that.
pandas. 3 pandas. One fat bottom
Because
panda.
there's horses.
Yeah. Yes, because there's horses. Because I know that they are also wrangling calves. I cannot give this more. They're just not showing it. I know what a rodeo is. It's disgusting. Who said it wasn't fun? Josh said it wasn't fun. Mm-hmm.
Me.
Yeah, like it could have been at a carnival. It would have been more fun, as evidenced by the side story in the ads.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my.
Peter
True.
could have saved Janet's mom's purse.
Do you know what? That actually would have worked. I would have been into that. That would have been Scooby-Doo. That would have been the Scooby-Doo level story I was looking for. And there could have been a fake ghost, and it would have been awesome. I don't know, this was terrible. Not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys, I think the last thing it was the Hello Kitty. So you
Oh, that was a while ago.
I didn't know what everyone's comment was. Yeah, I know. That's how long I took because I couldn't get back in. Yeah. So, anyways,
Well,
I didn't hear anyone when I mentioned about that. I don't remember. I was just saying I don't remember it back then.
After Hello Kitty, we talked about shoes for a bit.
Yeah.
well, here's the thing.
On the
Okay, good.
Spider-Man
Shoes
card.
with
yeah.
pockets.
Yeah, I'm cutting it in. I think it's my phone's falling apart here.
Well, don't
Oh,
worry, we're
no.
almost wrapped up. But I'll just say that they did continue to do these giveaways in the 90s, as we discussed earlier. There were a few by Alex Saviuk, but after that, it got worse and worse. So I think at the very least, we should be thankful that the art is by John Romita, or partly by John Romita, because the art is good. But I will definitely agree that the stories are pretty terrible.
Yeah.
And for the rest... And while I do apologize to Kevin for having you on for this particular batch of comics, the good news is,
It's okay.
is that for the rest of this podcast, we will only do one more round of these, and that's it. So you only have one more, batch of these to look forward to, guys. Sorry.
That's sad. I like them.
I like talking about them. These are the most fun podcasts, I think.
Well, that's news to me, but okay.
Well,
There's a panel where the Rhino just runs into his stable, and then all of these horses are like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And I just kind of want that as my new phone background.
Josh, get on
He's
it.
really
Dreams
good
can
at
come true.
He's really good at drawing horses going,
Yeah.
"Whoa, what's going on?"
So I guess,
The Rhino kind of looks.
I
Like
mean,
garbage.
is there need to give recommendations? I don't think any of us recommend this, do we? This last one.
no.
I recommend the advertisements.
That's how you know it's good.
If you want some nostalgia, yeah, and read some of what was being out there, and like I said, I was surprised in some of the ads.
Yeah.
They were kind of cool to see. Like I said, the Hello Kitty one surprised
Yes.
me. And then the video was great to see too. But yeah, all those ads were just, I'm sorry, they were eerie looking. So creepy. But hey, I guess that's how they did it back then. Try to sell clothes.
Well, on that note, I guess we're going to have to wrap up this week's episode. We want to thank you, Kevin, for joining us. I'm sorry the comics weren't better, but hopefully you enjoyed the discussion.
Hey, you know what? It was still one of it's my favorite character, Spider-Man, and it's always a joy to look at and review him. So regardless of the stories, you gotta take it for what it is.
I agree. I want to thank G.I. Jolie for joining us.
Oh, you're most welcome.
I want to thank Bex Luthor for joining us.
One of these ads, this kid has a sick Space Invaders sweatshirt, and I think I'm the same size as this 12-year-old boy, so I think I'm gonna get it.
Perfect.
Also, you're welcome.
That store's still open.
Ah, crap! I have to go to Macy's.
And I also want to thank Josh for joining us. Josh, thank you, as always.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. You're going to be jealous,
you,
Kevin.
Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome. But, Kevin, you're going to be jealous because next week, guys, this is the big one.
Oh, yeah.
Next week.
Kevin is a huge fan of Spider-Man.
Yes. Next week.
And you made him on this
we're
episode.
Reviewing a couple cheesy ones. Scared to Succeed. The Web of Spider-Man, which no one's ever heard of. It's another fill-in by people I've never heard of. We're reviewing The Lizard's Revenge, another fill-in by some fill-in writers and artists. But Kev, next week's the big one. Amazing Spider-Man number 289. The Hobgoblin revealed, folks. This is the big one. And we're going to be joined by special guest Andrew Helmer. Be sure to join us next week. And Josh, you can take it from here.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to the podcast. It really helps when you leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts, or you can drop us a line on Twitter at HCTSpidercast. Please let us know what you guys think about the comics we're talking about and podcast itself. We want to keep that comics conversation going.
That's right. So until next Monday, see you later.